Is
I'm
it
finding
possible to like set the tone? Like, are there certain things that guys can do to set the tone to lead the frame in a relationship?
going to say that just with opening on dating apps, you can set the frame with that. If you open up too nice, they're going to put you in that, friend zone resource category. You got to come at them, you can't be vulgar or whatever, but I come straight at them with like, I'm into kink stuff. I'm looking for dates that are into kink stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here for, there's sex is number one thing I'm talking about right off the gate. It doesn't have to be completely about that. I don't go into details. I like kink stuff. So are you interested? If they are, like, a conversation proceeds from there, but I've already set the pace that, hey, this is a sexual relationship we're talking about right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I'd say it's really important. It's really important to do that in the early stages of a dating sexual relationship.
I think a lot of guys don't give themselves permission to be in control of the frame in the first place. And this is as a result, I think, of the acculturation and the socialization and whatever, like of the last like 3 or 4 generations of guys, is they are not expecting to be in control of the frame. They believe in this egalitarian equalist ideal and that we're all going to be even Steven. And so just like it like permeates everything, all of our relationships when it comes to, well, I mean, other people too, but like certainly when it comes to intersexual dynamics, just like what Myron was saying just a second ago, it's like you're on a date or something like that. And now you've gone from, okay, we're going to go to this restaurant. We're going to go do this. We're going to, like, you have a plan. You have some sort of direction. You have some sort of goal. You have some sort of like, okay, this is what we're going to do on this date. I'm in control. I'm going to drive the car kind of thing. And then what happens is when you go from that to, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Then suddenly now you've lost the frame because you are deferring to her authority as far as like what it is that you want to do and where you want to go. And so now not only have you sort of maybe willingly or voluntarily like, surrendered the frame to the whole thing, you've gone from being in control and in as a command presence, as like Troy was saying just a second ago, you've gone from being a command presence to being like, oh, okay, let's play this whole even. And what happens is when you do something like that, you go from being this guy who's competent and this guy who is dominant and competent enough to like have a plan and do all these things, and giving off this vibe of, okay, this guy's alpha, and I say that in abstract terms, to being sort of like, you don't know what you're doing. You become incompetent all of a sudden. And what that does is it triggers in a woman, it triggers the idea that, oh my God, this guy, he almost tricked me. He almost fooled me. I thought he was alpha all this time. And now he's deferring to my authority. Now he's deferring to me. Now we're suddenly he's gone from being in command and having frame to giving it up willingly. It's not like she tried to test him and take it from him. It's the guy just didn't give himself permission to stay and maintain it and stay in control of that. Now that's in a dating sense. That's not in a long-term sense. So when you got a woman who believes that you are in control and she goes, she wants to live in the world that you're creating. That's really what the early PUAs used to say. It was like frame was the world into which that woman wants to be a part of. Like she willingly comes and voluntarily comes and lives within your world, in your frame. And now suddenly you're going, well, sorry, it was all bullshit. It was all me just kind of faking this the whole time. And now we're going to play even Steven, and now it's 50-50. And I want to know what you want to do. And let's, your needs are important. And this is, and this and this and this and this, let's have open communication, all this other stuff, instead of this being my frame and this being my world. What happens is that triggers her sort of existential fear that says, this guy really doesn't know what he's doing. And oh my God, I'm invested in this guy. How am I going to extricate myself from this situation?
And I want to go ahead, Myron. I'll hop in after you.
Because Rollo brought up a really good point there. Maintaining frame and equality cannot coexist. And quite frankly, a lot of women believe in this BS ideology that, men and women are equal, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get it all the time on my TikTok. Like, you're a misogynist. Oh, man, don't you want an equal partnership? And I'm here to tell you, dumb broads, like, no, not at all. Because at the end of the day, men lead, women follow, and women, I always say, women are fundamentally incapable of leading men within any confinement of a relationship. So in order for the relationship to work, there's got to be one person running it. Nothing gets done by committee. There's a reason why we have a president of the United States. There's a prime minister, whatever. When there's a committee, it makes things a lot more difficult to come to a solid decision quickly. So maintaining frame and equality can't coexist.
Let me just chime in here because I wanted to talk about this, as the early steps, because I also want to also catch up with these super chats, and I want to move into more like long-term relationship frame. But a really good way to kind of check this from the get-go is when you're setting up a date with a chick, you're always going to meet somewhere, right? Conventionally. I mean, there's some places that are still in lockdown, but let's say conventionally, you're going to get to meet, for a coffee, a drink, a meal, whatever. It should always be a coffee or drink, for the first one, from the get-go, by the way. But you've got to travel. She's at point A, you're at point B. Are you going to go to point A? Is she going to come to point B? Are you going to meet in the middle? The thing with that is I've seen women drive 3 hours on a first date and come right to my front door. I've also conventionally had women say, well, no, I don't have a car and I live all the way downtown, so I need you to come to this place that's at the bottom of my building. If I'm going to drive all the way downtown from the Toronto suburbs to go to her front door, I'm in her frame. If she can't get on an Uber or find a way to meet me somewhere that I pinpoint, then she's not cooperating, and that's ideally going to be a waste of my time, and that's not an indicator of genuine burning desire. If you're going to get engaged in anything on any kind of basis, it's always my opinion that you want genuine burning desire from her if you want her best. And a real good test of that frame is to make sure that she's going to come somewhere in the middle at the very least. If not, right to your front door would be ideal. That's a very, very good indicator of holding the frame and that dynamic. Let me just grab these super chats real quick before we keep moving on here. Tom,
those are great points, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Tom will come from far, far away if they really want to be with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if she's not interested in you, she's going to make you drive to her front door because she's got nothing better going on that night, right? Tom Bombadil says, good morning. Don says, when's Rolla coming to Miami? Myron, do you want to chime in on that?
He's going to be here on Monday, and then we'll do the show. We're debating whether we're going to do it on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'm thinking Tuesday we'll do the show. Rolla, we're going to talk about his book, and then we'll have him and Hotep on Wednesday. So
cool.
Nice.
That'll be fun to watch. And we got another one here from Tom. $50 super chat. We are done mincing words. Christians will win the coming conflict, the battle of good versus evil. It's not even close. Choose this day who you will serve. Step out and be counted, good or evil, God or Satan. Thanks, Tom.
Last time somebody said that shit, he ended up on a fucking rap sheet. Just saying.
You lose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have these feelings, but a lot of this just turns out to be guys sitting on their butt, hoping and praying that something will happen. Somebody's going to do something. Somebody else is going to do something.
Here's a very good example of frame, right? Like I've had a girl drive 2 hours to come see me, brought me breakfast too. Right. Like that's one, she's got genuine burning desire for you. And if you don't know what that is, read my book. And two, she's obviously in your frame.
Well, I mean, women break rules for alphas and they make rules for betas. If you want to know whether or not you have frame, like, do I have frame? I get this all the time. Some guys like emailing me stuff like, I lost frame. I did this. I did that. And now I have to do these things, or I have to jump through these hoops or whatever else. It's like, if she is making rules for you, I don't know how much more simple I can put this. If she's making rules, you're not in her frame. If you are obeying those rules, if you're going, okay, we're going to spoon on the couch for, for 2 hours before we even move on to doing anything else. If she's the one that is giving you the rules and saying, well, it's the third date, fourth date, fifth date, eighth date, 10th date, whatever it is, I just don't feel comfortable with you, blah, 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 blah. She's making rules for you. Ask yourself the very simple question: am I jumping through hoops? Am I obeying rules? Is she making rules? And am I following them? Or is she breaking rules? Is she changing religions? Is she, blowing off her friends because she is that into me? That's because just like what you were saying before, like Rich, of course, you can't negotiate genuine desire. John, you were just saying a minute ago, it's like if she is into you, if she's a ride or die girl, if she has genuine desire for you, she will break rules to get with you. That's how you definitely. Because women want that alpha male, right? They want that dominance in there. And like I was saying before, I've said this before with Donovan, is that if a woman is into you, she will suddenly find things to have in common with you.
She will grow her hair long. She'll change her style. She'll take on an IUD. She'll even tattoo her name on your body if she's that much into you. If she's in your.
I had a girl first date. She drove 5 hours to meet me in San Luis Obispo for the weekend. Greatest first date ever.
Greatest first date ever. Words from an MMA champ, right?